So, state of this Creemee State.
Yes.
2026.
2026.
First ever.
How is Vermont doing?
People really care about healthcare, as they should. You know, it's a huge cost driver for education. And a lot of our friends and neighbors have lost their ACA subsidies. So now their healthcare insurance is really expensive. Another piece that I really felt like was missing. So I have a number of friends. They're right now deployed to Venezuela, deployed right before Christmas with almost no notice. And I just feel like it would have been so nice to, at a minimum, thank them for their service.
Hello, Vermont. I'm Andy Julo.
And I'm Joanna Grossman.
And this is There's No Way in Creemee.
Vermont, politics, culture, and beyond.
Thanks for joining us.
All right, folks. Hello and welcome to There's No Way in Creemee, episode 21.
Episode 21. We do know that.
It's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a really exciting episode. This is our State of the Creemee State episode.
That is correct.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Huge.
Huge, humongous, crazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
The first ever
Do you know what
State
is?
of the Creemee State address.
Yeah, it is. But you know what is an even bigger deal than that?
Tell me.
I heard that you have a new shirt.
Well, now that we're on video,
Yeah.
yes, I did. I purchased a new shirt that will bring me up to 4.
Yeah. Will you tell me literally anything about it? I'm talking cut, color.
So it's a slim cut.
Okay.
It's a flannel shirt, but it is all
Okay.
heathered gray.
Ooh.
Mhm.
Nice.
It's got pockets, you know,
Okay.
because those are important.
Yeah.
Right here. Yep.
Well, as you know, I'm a big advocate of pockets.
And
Yeah.
if it's, if it's a go, we'll debut it here on the show.
I'm excited.
We can stop and do a mini style segment.
Okay. Yeah,
Maybe bring in another analyst.
sure.
Sure.
We could send like pictures to Becca and get her, live analysis. And also, I think the listeners deserve an update on the state of construction of your home.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, the state of construction. So the roof is nearly on. It's not quite complete, and I had hoped to be a little further along in January. I'm having to spend a lot of time clearing snow,
Yeah.
and sometimes I can't go on the roof because it's icy, or so I'm told.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I don't. And I've got a couple dormers I'm working on, so that's kind of what's taking a while. Is the dormers just take some time. I've never built shed dormers before, so this is all new for me.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, my wife is barely grocery shopping because she doesn't want to leave the house on the weekends in case I fall off the roof.
Yeah.
She tells me, and my neighbors confirm this, that I make a lot of noise when I'm out there constructing. And so I thought, well, that's silly. She's not going to hear me fall off the roof anyway. And she doesn't ever check her phone, so I could text her, I'm dying, and she wouldn't get it until hours later. But she listens for the lack of noise.
Yeah.
And then she goes and sticks her head out the door and makes sure that I'm still moving.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see how that would be concerning.
Yeah, I guess she's attached to me. I feel like she could, with the life insurance she could hire somebody to finish the house. She's a very attractive woman. She could move on very quickly, but I don't know. I guess she's attached to me
She
specifically.
chose you, Andy.
She chose me.
Yeah.
And she would rather I not fall off the roof.
Yeah. I think we all feel that way.
Okay.
Just gonna.
Well,
I'm gonna join that movement.
that's very kind of you. Thank you, Joanna.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't know if listeners follow Andy on social media, but you can see the photo of, it's like a full house. Like you have built an extraordinary amount of house in what seems to me to be just a few months.
It's ambitious or stupid, but yes, it's actually, I think about, it's just me. It's just the weekends for the most part. It's just been one season.
Yeah.
I went to the backyard with a shovel. Well, first it was a concrete slab, so I had to break it up. And then I went with a shovel and I dug it by hand.
Yeah.
For the foundation. And it's gotten up to...
That was happening as I was first getting to know you. And I was like,
and
you
didn't run away.
Yeah. No, I'm kidding. I think it's amazing. I don't know. It's extraordinary.
It's been something. It's been a journey.
Yeah.
It's been fun. Yeah.
Okay.
So the podcast is on its own little journey. It's doing really well. I think we've been posting to Substack maybe too repetitively that we keep breaking records. And people keep listening. They're sharing it with others. We really appreciate that. People are rating and reviewing, which helps us with the algorithm, which we are now plugged into.
Yeah. Oh, please rate and review if you haven't yet. Yeah,
Yes.
but absolutely. It's thank you everybody for listening. I mean, yeah, it does seem like there's like a few different ways to measure the success, in the back end of the analytics. And it's like every day we're like, oh my God, we broke this record, and it's just been kind of silly and really, really fun.
And as the algorithms come on board, it's searching for our match out there.
Oh, yeah.
What podcast is similar to us that people might want to go from that one to ours? And it's had some goofy matches.
Really bad ones.
There's one that it's kind of zeroing in on that is called the Dickheads Podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about that.
No, I don't. Yeah, I know how I feel about that, actually.
Not good.
It's just, on the one hand, I'm like.
It sort of tracks.
I guess, yeah. It knows us, I guess. Yeah.
I think we're likable dickheads. I think we're dickhead adjacent, obviously, according to the algorithm, but I think in a positive way.
I don't want to rename the podcast Dickhead Adjacent. I just want you to know if we ever rebrand, I'm striking that one down.
That was next on my agenda, so you shoot that item down.
Yeah. The matches are like they're not there.
No, it's pretty wild. We're so niche and so localized.
But there are other podcasts, like Becca's podcast. I don't know. There's a few with BCV.
It seems like you should find them, but it's the robots searching for, trying to match us all up.
Maybe they're just trying to foil us so they can take over and have their own robot podcast.
That could be.
Yeah.
Could be. There are some out there that are local politics, but like if you're listening to North Dakota politics, you don't necessarily listen to Vermont politics. So
real.
Yeah. It's got a tough match to try to make that pairing.
Yeah. I'm always surprised at how many out-of-state listeners we have, actually. Like, Becca was saying she shares it with her friends out of state. And my brother-in-law was just, like, telling me is, like, based on our episodes, like, his, like, dream Vermont ballot. And I was like, oh, that's cute. So
yeah. People tell us we're fun.
Yeah.
I don't see it, but.
No, me either.
Whatever.
Just kidding. Yeah. We're doing good.
Good.
I think so. I just thank you again, everyone, for listening. It's been really very flattering, and we appreciate the feedback. So, state of this Creemee State.
Yes.
2026.
2026.
First ever.
How is Vermont doing? Well, we had the governor's address.
Yes, we did.
He gave his a couple weeks ago,
Yeah.
as we air this, exclusively devoted to Act 73, which was one topic, which was not
Singular.
a singular topic, very atypical
Yeah.
for a State of the State address.
Yeah. It was weird.
Yeah. And it started with kind of a call for unity and Vermont being different from the national conversation, and then it kind of went into an attack on the redistricting task force, like right away.
Yeah.
Which sort of took it in the other direction.
Yeah.
He at one point he said that the task force was a political ploy to keep the status quo, which we've had multiple members of the task force on. We've reviewed the report as it came out, and they are definitely not for keeping the status quo. So that was ungenerous. I thought. I think it takes away from the efforts. You can disagree on outcomes here, but
yeah, of course.
The composition of that task force. Rebecca Holcomb, Kim Gleason, Edie Granning, Senator Martine LaRoque-Gulick, several professional members of the education workforce, and I just feel those folks have been waiting years for the opportunity to fix some of the problems they see in delivery of education to students, and they were really hardworking and went above and beyond the time that they were compensated for to produce the report that we reviewed here. And not only that, you can get to the last page of the report. There's a link to a second report, which is 160 pages long. So clearly they had been, pent up frustrations with the education system, and they were really enthused to introduce some changes and make things better. So to say that they're for the status quo was just not true.
Yeah, I mean, these are like deeply committed education advocates. I mean, they, came into this with the goal of, creating positive impact.
Yeah.
Not no impact.
No, not for no, for sure. And the governor's kind of his one trick here is consolidation. And that was part of their recommendation. They had 3 recommendations. One was consolidation, more based around a local input into that consolidation, whether it made sense, incentivizing it, not applying it broadly to the state. But they're on the same page that some consolidation needs to take place. And that's an opportunity to have a productive discussion about what is the right level. If the governor disagrees, says, well, volunteers and incentivized mergers didn't work. We need to do it this way. We'll make that case, and let's have a productive discussion. And they also brought in the options of sharing services and basing that on what other states are already doing and showing demonstrated savings from. So, and then they also brought forth the idea of regional high schools, which would, take some time, but it would allow us to have a strategic plan as we invest in facilities going forward. If they start to decay, maybe we don't invest in rebuilding that high school where it is. Maybe we expand on another high school and pool these up over time as attrition occurs. So they definitely were bringing solutions. He had also brought up a headline from the Boston Globe that said that New England schools are failing and no one seems to care, and said he cared and those who voted for Act 73 cared.
Yeah.
Which, of course, implied that those who voted against Act 73 didn't care.
Yeah.
Which is disappointing. It's certainly not true.
It's just hurtful.
It is.
I mean, they're advocating for community-driven change, which is like what Vermont's all about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's trying here. Everybody cares. Everybody's elected from a little bit of a different district with a different need. And those who didn't vote for Act 73 had reasons that their communities were not going to be served by Act 73. And rather than just push that down and dismiss it and say that they don't care or they just want to keep the status quo in place, maybe listen to those voices, because you could push through and you can get an outcome here, but the best outcome is going to be one where we listen and compromise and have all of the challenges on the table, and one that applies most broadly. That's to be buy-in, or else it's not going to work.
As you know, Burlington School District called Act 73 a state takeover of education.
Yep.
That's just not going to work no matter what happens. But the task force worked really hard to put together concepts of potential and pathways towards consolidation that could be community driven.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We also heard that the general budget may be held up if Act 73 doesn't go through in a certain way. So just, it's a very heavy-handed way of going about it, which is not usually the way we do it here in Vermont.
Yeah, that was surprising to me that he functionally issued an ultimatum to the legislature saying he would hold up the budget to get his way on 73. And that's just not the Vermont way.
Right.
Yeah, that's really hard.
So the second theme, was really that Vermont has changed, and we need to recognize that. And our systems are designed for a Vermont that no longer exists, which...
Yeah, that was hard to hear.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm old-fashioned, but I still think that Vermont is there. And our municipal governments are so beautiful, and they're really very effective. I mean, we have 252 municipalities in the state of Vermont, and we get together in the gym. And we have some goofy conversations sometimes in March, and we talked about this on episode 1, where town meeting tends to
I have to go to one this year.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Since Burlington doesn't have one.
Yeah, so many of the larger communities don't do this, but you still vote on your municipal issues.
Oh yeah, we have a very engaged conversation leading up to town meeting day, even in Burlington. Sure. I mean, for better or worse, it's very active.
And as he was talking about schools and kind of making the case that our system is antiquated and inefficient, I thought, what if you were saying the same thing about town clerks or town libraries or town garages? And you could certainly say that. And I think we'd feel very differently. So I feel like a lot of us, if we had to think about our tax money and how it's spent and what we feel the best about, we tend to feel the best about our municipal, local governments where we are making those small, micromanaged decisions. We feel money is spent well there.
Yeah.
And we get value.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
well, because we know how we're spending it.
Right.
Like it's often employing our friends and neighbors. I mean, we can really see it.
Yeah. And I think the idea that our schools can't work on that level anymore, and it has to be some large corporate structure where the state does take over. I mean, it's not hyperbole to say this is a state takeover. It is a state takeover. The state legislature would set all of the funding for schools. The Agency of Education would be doing a lot of oversight and structure of this, which would have to be significantly bulked up. It's been very stripped down over the last few years. So, it's not. We're saying that Vermont doesn't exist anymore, but it does exist. It exists for a significant portion of what we govern here in Vermont. Why are schools different from the rest of our services?
Every one of our guests has come on here and been able to tell us about their beloved local Creemee stand, right?
Yeah.
Like Vermont is made up of like our communities and our localities, and people move here and are charmed by Vermont the world over because of our smallness and our communities, and that's what gives us our magic. And I just think, I don't know, why ruin that? Seems crazy.
Yeah. And I think ultimately whatever solution we come up with has to match our culture.
Yeah.
And our culture is small towns and small government.
Yeah.
And I know that the mergers that we've had under Act 46, it's been still really hard to get communities to think of our kids as being all the kids in the union. They still think of our kids in our town versus their kids in that town.
Totally.
And so you're running against how people think about their communities and their municipalities.
Yeah.
So we'll see. A lot of time spent on Act 73. A lot of things that are affecting Vermonters didn't get mentioned.
Yeah. That is the thing that I'm bumping on the most, I think. There was a lot of troubling content about 73, but the fact that was all he talked about, it's the state of the state.
Right.
It's not the state of what Phil Scott wants for education transformation. And that was, really hard for me to hear. And there's so much that we didn't talk about. And I think the two of the things that pop right at the top for me are workforce and welcoming our new Americans, which to me are like intrinsically linked. So the other night I was at my friend's birthday party and I met this woman who works for Darn Tough Socks. Love Darn Tough Socks. I'm totally obsessed. As you were saying, we totally need a Darn Tough sticker
we do not
for
have
our
a Darn
table.
Tough sticker yet.
Yeah, that's a major missing.
We do have some new
piece
stickers
to
here
our
from our
set.
holiday gift.
Yes.
Gift exchanges. Yep.
Yeah. We got a bunch of new stickers, but we have not covered Darn Tough yet.
Yep.
And I was talking, I was like, I totally fangirled out on her. And I was like, oh my God, tell me about Darn Tough. What's going on? And we were talking about it. And she said the same thing that, every other small business or Vermont brand or business is dealing with is that they need people to work there. Like, we need workforce. We have really low unemployment in Vermont, which sounds great, but it's really hard on companies to hire and to build and to grow and to contribute to our Vermont economy. At the same time, Vermont has set a very high standard, as it should, for welcoming new Americans into our state and, helping them settle here and create new lives here, often coming from nightmares we can't even begin to imagine, right? And, helping them come here and settle here and become part of the workforce here. And, as like we say over and over again, we're not going to birth our way out of the workforce shortage. So welcoming people here isn't it's just the best win-win out of that scenario. And, I'm a third generation American, and so that kind of role in our country and our community is really important to me personally, and I really believe in it. And I felt like, how are we not talking about this at the state of the state, especially at a time when our president is attacking new Americans, literally? And I mean, so that was a really big disappointment to me, was that wasn't addressed.
Yeah, I mean, think of the stress they're under right now with ICE and the pressure from the federal government for the governor of Vermont to just devote a line or two to say, we see you and we welcome you and we're glad you're here.
Absolutely.
I mean, I did it and it took, 8 seconds?
Well done, Andy.
Yeah.
And we know that a bunch of our legislator friends are working on bills to stop ICE from wearing masks.
Yes.
So that we don't have like random hooded people like arresting people, which is really happening. So that's like not okay. Yeah.
That's why we have a Bill of Rights, as I understand it. But this is where we're at. And you know what? The federal government may strike that down. Let them do it.
Right.
We're going to have done what we can.
Right. I just think there's value on its own to standing up in front of the legislature and saying, yeah, we care about all the residents of Vermont, regardless of how you got here and what your citizenship status is and whatever. Yeah.
Yep.
I think that would have been nice.
Yep.
A big one in my mind is healthcare.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. Which is probably the reason that we have such an education cost crisis to begin with.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the number one cost driver.
That was what the task force found, and that is fact. People really care about healthcare, as they should. You know, it's a huge cost driver for education. It's a huge cost for humans, for people who live here. And a lot of our friends and neighbors have lost their ACA subsidies, so now their healthcare insurance is really expensive. That's not cool.
No, and Vermont is, we've been sucked into a lot of national trends on housing and education costs and others, but healthcare is one of them, but our neighboring states are doing much better, and they have done a lot more. And this is one that, in the Scott administration, has kind of gone south. I mean, we had a $404 monthly premium for the Silver Plan in 2015. It's now $1,532. So a 279% increase in the Blue Cross Silver Plan over the last 10 years.
That's crazy.
Absolutely crazy. And we have an episode in the bank, and we've recorded some ahead, and we have some young Democrats that we talk to, and they're struggling to find housing. They are having to pay very high costs for healthcare. The jobs are not great. Property taxes was real down on their list. One owned a mobile home. One had to live with their parents. And so
someone just had to move out of their district where they had a leadership role.
Yes. Yeah. So when they thought about affordability, I mean, those things were way higher than any property tax considerations for them.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah. Housing and healthcare are both huge. In fact, so new stuff is already happening in the session that he could have called out. So I know that Senator Ginny Lyons is working on a bulk drug buying bill. That's a great initiative. I heard just this morning on the way in, there's a new initiative around more supports for primary care and decentralizing healthcare in Vermont. And I think that's huge. And then going back to our young organizer friends, I mean, this affects, what I'm about to say affects everyone, but I think this is very big, especially for the next generation. In Vermont, we have really great reproductive rights and gender affirming care and shield laws. And I mean, I'm so proud of those, but they're not going to help our kids if they can't afford to stay here.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's all really important. The housing and healthcare pieces both are huge, and I really would have liked to hear that that's a priority for the governor.
I think, especially for younger people, none of their major concerns were addressed.
Yeah. It does kind of feel like that.
Anyone considering a younger person, do I leave this state that I love? Do I stay here and try to tough it out? Really got nothing for them in that address. Yeah. And that's problematic.
And we want them to stay.
We do. We really do.
Yeah. So it's we gotta do more for them.
We don't want to have to go visit our children in the Carolinas.
Far flung.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. I mean, that's really real. And I think for a lot of our friends, for a lot of our friends, their kids are here and trying to figure out if they can stay here or they're gone and they want to come home, That's really real.
Yeah, I don't know when we'll get to releasing that episode, but it was several.
It's coming, people.
It's
we
coming,
promise.
But I just came away from that feeling like we are really failing young Vermonters.
Me too.
And even when we're talking about them, we're not actually listening to them. We're talking about what we think their needs are.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's what was so. Now I feel bad that we're talking about an episode we haven't aired yet, but you guys are gonna like it. And I really did come away from that feeling like yeah, like no one's looking out for the future. Well, it reminded me a lot of when we talked to Mandy Janu, and she, everyone knows I'm obsessed with this, but Mandy Janu was telling us that in Wales they have a future commissioner and that you can't do stuff if the future commissioner doesn't think it's good for the next generation.
Right.
And we should be doing that.
Yeah, and we've kind of tipped a balance where we have an older population, and now we're not really, like, to get the younger population back, we almost have to focus in a way that's outside of our elective population. You see, we're almost like feeding into it.
Yeah.
And I think you see that with the education conversation, right? We've lost students, and our major question is how can we get our penny back for the seats that are empty versus why are those seats empty, and what does it mean for this state that we are losing families and children, and how do we get them back?
Yeah, well, this is so like I was telling you earlier, like when he was saying in the speech, Phil Scott started saying in the speech, like, oh, we used to have, sorry, I don't have the numbers in front of me, X number of students, and now we only have Y number of students. And I thought he was like gearing up to say, and that's really too bad. We need to attract more families. But that's the opposite of what he said. He was kind of like, yeah, okay, they're gone now.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait a second.
Let's bulldoze those schools.
Yeah. Yeah, that just doesn't seem...
Turn those playgrounds into pickleball courts. Let's go.
Yeah, like we shouldn't be prioritizing second homes over thriving, families and communities. That just doesn't make sense to me. Another piece that I really felt like was missing that kind of hurt my heart a little bit was, so I have a number of friends who are either serving in the Vermont Guard or their spouses or family members are serving in the Vermont Guard, and they're right now deployed to Venezuela. And the members themselves are really struggling with why they're there, and their families are struggling with why they're there.
This was over Christmas, too.
Over Christmas, deployed right before Christmas with almost no notice. Right. I mean, it's heartbreaking and demotivating, and it's hard for me to think of sending people who are defending our country there without a strong motivation. Like there's something crushing about that, and I just feel like it would have been so nice to, at a minimum, thank them for their service, and honor their service and honor, how difficult this must be for them.
Yeah. Another thing that probably takes 10 to 15 seconds and again says, we see you and we understand what you're going through.
Yeah.
We're thinking about you here in Vermont.
Yeah, and we really are.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of what these addresses are for. It's not to... not to prime the pump for the next election.
Yeah, absolutely. And the last thing on my list that I really had, I was kind of like jotting stuff down, and the last thing on my list that I really had expected and hoped to see is... As everyone knows, I work for a small business. I work for Phoenix Books, and a big part of my role is advocating for small businesses, and that's a big part of your day job too. Sure. And I was kind of like, wow, at a time when especially small retail is dealing with unprecedented pressure from multinational global corporations that are extracting wealth out of Vermont, creating extremely difficult competitive landscape for small retailers. Like, we've got to be doing what we can to support our small Vermont businesses, and I really wanted to hear kind of a shout out for us, some acknowledgement of what we're going through.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it's a difficult time to start a business, and a lot of them to build or expand is just the construction costs are so unpredictable.
Yeah.
I work with so many businesses that started just after COVID.
Yeah.
And it's been such a question mark. Every expense, every supply line, it's just a question mark, and you can't plan.
Yeah. No. I'm astonished at how many new places have been popping up lately. But there's also, Church Street lost a couple places just in the past few weeks. And, that the struggle is real, and we want to be validated.
Yep.
Our main streets are part of what makes Vermont beautiful and attractive and fun and, energetic.
And attractive to tourism, too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So I would have liked to have seen those.
Yes. You promised me that I get to say the phrase, the state of our Creemee State is melty.
Yeah, yes. It is melty.
It is melty, but I think there are a lot of things that we can do We're smart people.
There's a lot of sprinkles out there.
Yeah, we need to stop fighting over education.
Yeah.
Support our students, support our teachers, support the people doing good work here.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Support our communities.
Yep.
Yeah, we can do it.
Absolutely.
I know that Vermont has it in us. I know that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I really hope that, we see the session turn around and perform some magic.
Yeah, election seasons are hard. It tends to make everything about political wins and losses.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's some really important work to be done here. I think some people may be thinking about packing it in down in Montpelier. They've had enough.
Yeah.
Or this is going to finish them in. So hopefully they'll take that sentiment and use the time they have left to just do what they think is right.
I would love to see that. I mean, I don't want to see people pack it in necessarily, but I would love to see people take a little more risk, be brave, like be our brave little state, right? Like be bold and,
We'll give you a shout out here on There's No Way in Creemee.
Hell yeah, we will.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Heck yeah. Any kind of, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay. Yeah. All right. Stay strong, folks. Okay, here we are at Last Licks.
Get that microphone.
Yeah, I actually have to adjust it.
I know he sounds terrific in there.
Yeah. Sorry, friends. Yes, all right. So we've got a little Last Licks special for you today.
Yeah, we just felt like we should have a Last Licks on this episode. We wanted to.
Yeah, because the state of the Creemee State is melty, so we're going to, last lick it.
We're going to take a look at some of the goofier side of legislation. We just had a proposal that has made the top 10 list of Vermont's goofiest legislative proposals.
Yeah.
It is a proposal for a UFO task force.
Yeah.
Yep. So it got us to thinking, what other things have been proposed or enacted in Vermont law?
Yeah, I'm excited about this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, it sounds like most of these became actual law. These weren't just...
Great.
I'm sure that proposals are even more out there, but these things actually got through. All right. At one time in Vermont, women needed written permission from their husband to get dentures.
To get dentures?
Dentures, false teeth.
I have so many questions.
Mm-hmm. Question one would be, why? Right. Who thought this was a problem that needed solving through legislation?
I'm totally baffled by that. Like when you started with women need permission, I was like, oh, Lord. And then it went somewhere I'd never expected.
It sounds like something that Pawnee, Indiana would enact. Right?
Oh my God. Yes. 100%. Yeah.
I mean, there must have been a husband who his wife came, maybe it was the expense, or maybe he just liked a large gap between her teeth.
I don't know.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Number 2, it is illegal to whistle underwater in Vermont.
Wow.
Illegal here, impossible everywhere.
Yeah, I'm trying to picture it doesn't seem you're right, it doesn't seem possible. Like with a whistle or to manually whistle?
I think it's to manually whistle.
Yeah, okay. That's a good one. I mean, I'm I really want to try it now.
Yeah. I don't think you could do it. I don't know. Could you?
I don't
know.
It's
gotta be impossible. But why would this? Is this did somebody just lose their mind and they probably got reelected, right?
Maybe someone died trying to do it.
Yeah.
I
don't know. You ever meet one of those really cantankerous old men?
Yep.
Yeah. I could see that being one of these things that they make a law out of.
I can totally see someone being crabby about it. I can't see the body passing it.
Yeah.
So there's so many crazy things about that.
At the very end of the session when they have to wrap up and they go to 3 a.m, maybe some of these are coming through then. Or they're earmarks.
Or they were, could be.
Yeah. We're going to transform Vermont's education system, but only if we can also ban whistling underwater.
Well, I was wondering if it was everyone's Next thing we have to deal with is like Act 73. You know what? Let's do this whistling underwater thing first. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's like a procrastination mechanism.
That could be.
I don't know. Just a thought.
I don't know.
What else you got?
It was illegal to tie a giraffe to a telephone pole. It says was. Did they change it? Maybe it got repealed. That's the sort of thing that if it got through, I wouldn't waste time repealing it.
Yeah.
Because is this really a problem?
I'm sorry. It's illegal to tie a giraffe
To
a telephone pole.
Specifically, yes. A power pole, maybe.
Okay, I'll say this much. I do agree that it should be illegal, but I don't understand in what possible scenario. Like, how many giraffes have ever resided in Vermont? How many giraffes could there be in Vermont? Any?
Yeah, I can't imagine there are very many. I know a camel, but that was it, and that's going to come up too.
Oh, good.
Yes.
I've known a few camels in Vermont, but I mean, do you think there's any giraffes residing in the state of Vermont?
No, the only thing I could think of is like the circus came to town and
someone tied it to a telephone pole.
somebody tied a giraffe to a telephone pole.
They're very tall, so it could have created a problem.
Yes. And some woman, saw it and got scared and ran.
I really like giraffes.
Hit her face, knocked her teeth out, had to get dentures.
Her husband was very upset.
Very upset.
And he was so angry he went for a swim and tried to whistle underwater.
And he drowned. Something needs to be done.
That's amazing. What else you got?
Let's see. At one time in Barrie, residents were required to bathe every Saturday night, a law aimed at public hygiene.
Whoa.
Yeah. So that sounds
harsh.
like a local ordinance in Barrie that every resident must bathe.
Oh,
every
Barrie.
Saturday night.
My heart, my heart just aches sometimes when I think of it. It's like had so much tragedy, so many good people there trying to do some good things.
Number 5, there's a Vermont law that forbids dancing to the Star-Spangled Banner.
You can't dance to
You
it?
cannot dance to the Star-Spangled Banner.
What if it's like a really rockin' version of it?
Like Jimi Hendrix version? Well, that's not really dance.
Yeah,
There's no
not really.
beat there.
I don't know that I can think of such a version. I just think a creative musician could concoct one.
Maybe. I don't know how you could do that. It's the weirdest. It is
Double time?
such a strange song. It is up and down.
I don't know. I'm up for the challenge.
All right. Well, don't dance. In the meantime, don't dance to the national anthem in Vermont.
All right, we'll see.
All right. It is, let's see, 6, whittling on church steps. Carving wood on church steps was prohibited. Keep your whittling to the porch.
Okay.
Yeah. I could see that being a bit sacrilege to be on the church step whittling.
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, okay.
This one I don't quite understand. Painting restrictions. Painting landscapes during wartime was banned, and painting horses could cost you up to a $500 fine.
Painting
Landscapes during war.
Okay, here's where when you first started, every time you're reading these, I'm trying to think of like the why.
Yeah.
And I wonder if like painting landscapes was like, oh no, but you're supposed to be using your painting towards the war effort somehow.
The only thing that came to mind for me was that maybe the materials for painting were needed for wartime.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That, I see where you're going with that.
Yep. And
then the horses?
Maybe painting horses used a certain color that was needed, like a pigmentation was used for painting horses that was required for making gunpowder.
We'll have to put the interns on
Something like that. Yes.
Yeah.
We could do an episode on each one of these.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody would listen, but we could
No.
technically do it.
It'd be fun for us, though.
Yeah. The billboard ban is on here. I don't think that's a strange one.
No, it's awesome.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Number 9 was the UFO task force.
Yeah.
And number 10, I told you we get the camels.
Yeah, what about them?
All right. If you tie a camel to a parking meter, you must feed the parking meter.
Wait.
This is Vermont law.
Will you read it for me again?
All right. If you tied a camel to a parking meter, you had to pay the meter fee.
I mean, okay, so that counts as using a parking space, they're saying?
Yeah. If you're going to
The
ride your
camel
camel
isn't
to
gonna-
Burlington and you tie it to a parking meter, you need to feed the meter.
What the hell were people doing with animals? Like, why giraffes,
yes, a giraffe,
camels,
a camel.
why are they always being tied up in weird places?
Yes. I assume this one it's past tense, so I assume it's off the books because I could immediately think of, now that you have the app, you have to punch in the license plate number of the vehicle that you were parking in the parking space. Do you just put camel?
I don't really know.
Yeah.
I also like camels. This is a relatively recent law because it's a parking meter, not like a hitching post.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I just feel like the camels I've known 2 different camels in Vermont, and I don't think they visited parking meters or urban locations at all very much. They just kind of hung out in their field.
Yeah. I never saw anybody ride them into town.
No, you can't really ride a camel very easily.
No. And they spit too, so you got to watch out for that.
Yeah.
You could get fined for, I'm surprised there's not something here about putting a muzzle over your camel so it doesn't spit on people on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
If you're riding it into an urban area with a parking meter.
Yeah. And it might, I mean, you don't want it to be too close to a giraffe that's tied to a telephone pole.
Yes.
And then they might get into a tangle.
Yeah. It's interesting that they specify don't tie the giraffe to a telephone pole.
It's hilarious,
and don't tie the camel. Well, you can tie the camel to a parking meter. You just need to feed the meter.
Yeah, that's right. Do you think it would be okay to tie a giraffe to a parking meter? And would you have to pay for the parking if you did that?
I mean, they didn't specifically prohibit that. So
No.
I think they have left that wide open. Here's another question. Where does the parking attendant put the ticket?
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Yeah. I think we've overthought all of these.
This is a really good one. Really good last licks.
Yep.
Yeah. Nice work, Andy.
And we pulled it out of our hat.
Yeah. And the interns. Good job, guys.
And the interns.
They crushed it.
Way to go, kids.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Well, that brings us to the end of this episode.
Thank you all for listening.
Follow us between episodes for the latest updates on our socials at There's No A in Creemee on Instagram, Substack, and Blue Sky.
And catch us on our next episode of There's No A in Creemee, Vermont Politics, Culture, and Beyond in Apple Podcasts and Spotify.